To see you, Dave, on this very hot day.
It is, Angie. Yes, it is. We saw it yesterday in Toronto. It was actually earlier in May. We saw it up in Ottawa, Montreal, but not in the Toronto, Windsor area. But we got our touch of of pre-summer, sort of a dress rehearsal of what we probably will see during the dog days of summer.
So talk to me more about the dress rehearsal then. And is this, some people feel that they got cheated in, for last summer, last year. It wasn't as the hot weather or much of the summer months that they were hoping for. Are we making up for lost heat this time around?
I think, Angie, I don't know where they were living. Yeah. We certainly had in this country, it was very warm from coast to coast to coast. So I think we had more than our share of it last year. I'm hoping that this summer won't be as roasty warm as what we saw last year. Now, what we've seen but typically in May, you always get a teaser. You get a couple of days where you learn where your linens are and get your air conditioner working or your fan out or learn how to make those kind of summer drinks. So we've already had that in May, and now we're going to cool off. This is really just a 2-day kind of event, and I think it's been warm at night, and so people are probably saying, okay, enough's enough. I'm not quite prepared for this. But always, Angie, it's good to have it in May because it does acclimatize us to the fact that, hey, summer is coming. We're just not a cold winter kind of country. We get our seasons, and summer can be very warm, especially with the humidex being high and nighttime temperatures. So clearly here in the East, we've already had a touch of that, and I think it'll be just something that we see more of this summer.
Well, everyone's looking forward to some beautiful sunshine and I guess some warm weather indeed. I want to pivot over to Manitoba, though, Dave. They have been hit really hard with inclement weather. We know that there was more rain in the forecast now. Is this going to be a little bit more typical for this time of year? We've noticed a shift in past years.
Angie, it has really been tough. I mean, people are absolutely physically and mentally spent. I mean, things were looking all right the early part of April, and then, the faucet got turned off and you can't turn it off. We saw, 4 or 5 Colorado lows. One of them can cause flooding issues. We've had 4 or 5, and the latest one yesterday, still raining today, and the water levels are up, the lake levels are up, and now you've even got wind warnings that are going to create 5-foot waves on certain lakes and cause rivers to overflow. You've got both river flooding and overland flooding. And clearly our heart goes out to the farmers. Farmers, last year, Angie, they couldn't buy a drop of rain. The growing season was over before the harvest really began. And this year, my gosh, it's already declared over and the growing season hasn't even started. So, it's just too much rain this year, not enough last year. It's really a terrible situation. And they now the only good news I see, and I look in small little glimpses of good news, and I see after today's rain, we see 6 days without rain. That's going to help to dry it out a bit. Farmers can maybe plant seeds not everywhere, but in certain part of their fields. And so I think the optimism will increase. But, sometimes in weather, Angie, what you see is what you're going to get. And I think it's not saying that it's going to be the beginning of the dry season. This is typically June is usually the wettest month of the year in Manitoba. So I hope it's not like that this June, but boy, some other Junes, the rains keep coming.
I know, indeed, and we'll cross our fingers for Manitobans who we know are so strong and resilient through it all, but boy, as you say, Dave, they've been through enough. Environment Canada senior climatologist Dave Phillips. It's always good to have you, Dave. Enjoy the sunny weather and you stay cool.